Hi everyone. This is our first Tempest Cup video. It's going to be our meta snapshot. So, Steely and I picked a series of 12 Pokemon, and we did a series of battles against each other using only these 12. The idea behind this was that we expect that these Pokemon will remain somewhat meta relevant, and so we expect them to be popular in upcoming Tempest Cups. The 12 that we used are Tropius, Altaria, Skarmory, Celio, Glalie, the Mud Boys. There's three. We grouped them into one because they're fairly similar.
Mhm.
Abomasnow, Alolan Graveler, Lantern, Magneton, Steelix, and Lapras.
Yep. So, like Calvin said, this is just kind of a quick snapshot. This is what we expect will be strong and what we expect we'll see at the tournaments. So, we'll offer some brief commentary on the different Pokemon we choose, and some of our decisions in our battles, and then in a future video, we'll do more of a deep dive, analyze their move sets, specific matchups. We'll cover some of the more specialized counters and other options outside of these 12 Pokemon, because there are a lot of choices for this cup. So, with that said, we can just hop on into our battles. Okay, so our first battle here, we have Steelix versus Skarmory, and you'll probably recognize this matchup from the Boulder Cup. It's pretty standard in that one, so you know from there that Steelix is going to win this usually. So he charges up a Crunch, I decide to shield it, got some energy built up, and then so I decide to switch out. I bring in Celio here, and he switches to his Lantern. And you'll see why Celio is so good here is this Body Slam just charges super fast. It's pretty similar to Quillfish in the Twilight Cup. It just comes up really fast, does a decent amount of damage, but it's good to break shields. Celio's bulky enough that he's going to get a lot of them off, but I do have to shield this Thunderbolt here, since that is super effective. But
Lantern's also quite bulky. In general, it has the advantage because of its Thunder typing and electric moves. However, because Celio came into this matchup with some energy ahead of time, it's got the edge.
Yep, good point. So you can see here, I do win, but I do have to use more shields as well. So finish off the Lantern with some fast moves. And the Steelix comes back in. He's got a charge move right away. Decide not to shield. It leaves me just enough health to get off another charge move. And I go for the higher damage Aurora Beam, which he doesn't shield, so that's good. Here's where I mess up, because I don't have any shields, and Steelix has Earthquake. So this was just a bad decision. I should have just brought in the Skarmory. Like I said, Skarmory will lose this matchup generally, but the Steelix is lower health here, so I would have been safe to bring it in and finish it off with the Skarmory instead of just wasting the Graveler.
And you might argue that about not knowing that the Steelix had Earthquake. It might not be nearly as common this time around, but having fought each other a few times before, we knew we had it.
Yep, also a good point. So yeah, I really should have just went for the Skarmory there. The Graveler just went to waste. If I put in the Skarmory, finished off the Steelix, then Graveler might have stood a chance against the Glalie. So that was a poor choice there.
Here we both begin with some ice types. As Stanley mentioned, Celio is nice to spam the Body Slam. Glalie has a really nice move in Avalanche, and it can really dish out some good damage there, along with a little bit of coverage from the Steel-type Gyro Ball. So here my Celio is doing a good amount of damage. I'm pretty happy with it. And then you'll see the next move coming up. I'm not entirely sure. I didn't pay enough attention to that earlier Gyro Ball if I have to shield or not here. I decided to play it safe and shield. Looking at the matchups on PV Poke, if you go even on shield, Celio will win every time, but I did need to shield that. So I knock out his Glalie, and I've got some energy going into this match. I'm feeling okay. I risk it a little bit and don't Body Slam, and it pays off because I survive this Mud Bomb, and I'm then able to get off the higher base damage Aurora Beam, which is also dealing stab. So I'm able to take out like half of his health with that first Pokemon still, and we're even on shields. Now I don't want Magneton to take super effective Mudshot damage, so I switch into Altaria. And then I underestimate how much energy Mudshot generates because I did not think he had Blizzard yet. Now, I don't want the same thing to happen to my Magneton, so I shield this Mud Bomb. And I'm hoping that I'll get a good matchup for the last one, but it's Lantern, and as you'll see, Lantern can eat plenty of Magnet Bombs.
Lantern's really good here as a Pokemon in this cup with his bulkiness and access to Thunderbolt, so really good Pokemon here. You'll see these water guns do make quick work of the Magneton. Alright, so next match here we have Quagsire versus Lantern, and right off the bat I'm just going to let Calvin defend himself here.
So, I see my Lantern doing okay damage with the water gun. I'm feeling okay, and I know that the big part about Quagsire is his access to Stone Edge and how quickly it charges it up because of that Mud Shot. So I completely forgot that Earthquake was a thing that he could learn. So really just be prepared, folks. Lantern is weak to Earth moves. Or ground moves, sorry. So I got wrecked.
Yep, so yeah, like you saw that Earthquake easily one-shot the Lantern. So we see here, even though Skarmory resists my fast move, it's just good to charge up that Stone Edge. I get several Stone Edges off here. He finally decides not to shield one, or I think he's out of shields.
Yeah, I was probably overcompensating a little bit for my earlier lapse of shielding, and also that Blizzard that I ate in that last match. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to shield everything I can, and then I just ran out.
Yep, so you see Quagsire did pretty well against the Skarmory there. Bring in the Lapras, finish off his Pokemon, and then his last one's a Graveler. Graveler does have Thunderbolt, which is super effective against Lapras, but he's also weak to water, so Lapras is able to finish this off pretty easily here.
So starting Magneton into Lantern, I'm taking quite a bit of damage from that water gun, so I switch right away to Abomasnow. Try to get some super effective Razor Leaf damage off. Once he switched into Tropius, I know that I'm not going to be able to do anything. So use my move.
I do shield here. Wasn't necessary, but I expected an Outrage, so played it safe.
Which would have done a lot more than the Energy Ball, but thankfully he shielded. And so I get that before my Tropius or my Abomasnow goes down. Glalie doing really nice damage. Its ice moves, and especially that Avalanche, hurt quite a bit. So I'm able to knock out the Tropius. Now that I see that his Lantern's in, I use Gyro Ball, and I think this was actually a mistake. I think at the time I didn't remember that Gyro Ball was going to be not very effective, and since both the Steel and the Ice type move will be not very effective, it makes more sense to use the Ice type, which gets stab and has higher base damage anyway. So I used that the second time, correct my mistake, do an okay chunk of damage for a not very effective move. Now my Magneton comes back, and I'm pretty happy with Magneton in this tournament. I like how quickly Magnet Bomb charges up, and it has some decent coverage, being a Steel move into the Ice types. Now, my Magneton, I will unlock a second move, but I'm still trying to find one because you want one with Legacy movesets. So mine has Spark. If you can find one with Thundershock quick move, it'll charge up faster. And if you can find one with the charge move Discharge, that is a really nice electric charge move that will be more useful than its currently available Zap Cannon will be. If I can't find one, I will get one with Zap Cannon on it because I want that electric charge move option, but we'll see.
Alright, so this here lead to Celio into Altaria. You would think Celio with his Ice Fast move is going to win this matchup, but you see Altaria dishes out good damage too, but he does switch. So this is a good example. With all the ice in here, you would think Altaria is not going to be good, but like Azumarill in the Twilight Cup, it's still so bulky and has really good moves, and it's going to do a lot of damage to a lot of things. So anyways, back to here, Celio just body slamming away. Like I said earlier, it's just a super spammable move. Get those shields out. Here I eat the Mud Bomb, try to finish him off with fast moves, and then change my mind and go with the safe option, go for the body slam. Make sure I kill him before he gets another charge move off. Go for the Ice Beam against Skarmory here. The higher base damage, neutral stab. It's the right move there. And get one more body slam off before I die. You're going to see this does basically... Oh, no, he shielded. Okay. It would have done basically no damage. He probably expected the ice. So, bring in my Altaria. And this actually does quite a bit of damage from the Skarmory. finish it off with a Sky Attack. And he brings in his own Altaria. And don't shield here. Pretty much had no health. I wanted to save the shield for my Whiscash, which I know has Blizzard. So I go Mud Bomb first to try to bait out his last shield, which works. And then I shield his move, and then it's just a race to see if I can get my Blizzard off before he kills me.
Part of the advantage of Altaria is its Dragon Breath. It goes off incredibly quickly. You can see it spammed again and again, and it's got nice damage that is resisted by very few things in this cup. So this lead with Celio and Skarmory is a little interesting. Both will be doing neutral damage. Celio with Ice-type moves on Skarmory, Skarmory with Steel-type moves on Celio. The way this matchup goes really depends on the shielding. It can go either way. As we see, both Pokemon get some good chunks of damage off against each other. I go back to the Body Slam because I want to try to get more moves off. And then here, because I want the switch advantage, I sacrifice my shield, and I'm able to knock out the Skarmory with quick attacks. I have enough energy for a Body Slam, but I'm hoping I'm able to charge maybe just a little bit more energy up to get the Aurora Beam off. That hurts me in the end because I go down right away. I send in my Lantern to deal super effective Water Gun damage, and he's taking so much that he switches into his Celio. This matchup we've seen before, but he has both shield advantage and health advantage right now. So I don't switch because in my mind I know I'm doing super effective when I can get my Thunderbolt off, but with all the shields that he's able to burn, I end up not doing very much damage and he knocks me out. Get my Skarmory in, back to the matchup I discussed earlier. I wasn't expecting the Aurora Beam, thought it was a Body Slam, didn't block it. It's hard to tell when you're fighting a Celio because the energy on both is pretty quickly gained. Now, if he uses his electric move, it'll be super effective. Rock will still do a good amount of damage. And you can see here, because my Skarmory has Steel Wing, which is neutral against Alolan Graveler, instead of Wing Attack, which would be 4 times resisted, I'm able to get the win and just squeak it out.
Alright, last battle here we have Magneton and Skarmory. You're going to see Magneton with his electric fast move is doing a lot of damage to my Skarmory, so I don't expect he's got his electric move charged up yet, so I take this, and it's a not very effective Magnet Bomb. Try to get a Sky Attack here and get a shield out of him, and then I need to switch out because he's just going to kill me with fast attacks. So, bring in the Altaria. This Magnet Bomb here does a surprising amount of damage. It's neutral, but you see it takes almost half of my health out, so I probably should have shielded the first time, and so I shield the second time.
And you see it charges that quickly even with the Spark that is on my Magneton and not the Legacy Thundershock, which would be even better.
Right. So, finish him off here with a charge move and a couple of fast attacks. And he brings in the Lantern, which I'm able to get one last Sky Attack off before I die, but Altaria was too low to do very much here, so. Bringing my Tropius. Razor Leaf does a good amount of damage to him, forces out a switch to Skarmory, and I know his Skarmory is going to beat mine. I try to switch here to just get that last shield out, maybe get a little bit of damage and give Tropius a better fighting chance. I don't shield here because Tropius is going to need it. So try to go for an Aerial Ace, and here you'll see why Skarmory is such a good counter against Tropius. Nothing Tropius does is going to do a lot of damage, and Skarmory is going to hit him super effective with his fast attack, or with his charge attacks, and maybe his fast attack depending which they have. Try a Leaf Blade just to see what it does. Doesn't do very much, and he's able to finish me off here. So that's our snapshot of the meta. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Just kind of seeing a glimpse of what is going to be popular in this cup, what kind of stuff might be good, and what you should be prepping. Obviously there's more viable options, but we'll go over those in a future video. And
yeah, if you feel so inclined, please feel free to leave a comment. What'd you think of the dual screen recording side by side? You want to hear what you thought? Was it too much? Was it nice to see both perspectives and energy chargings? Do you want to yell at me for not shielding that earthquake or that blizzard or that mud bomb? Do you just want to tell us how cute Domino the cat is? Let us know. Can't wait to hear from you.